rather than focusing on what your inner being is thinking, focus upon how your inner being is being. And what does the word being evoke from you? Feeling. How your inner being is perceiving, feeling. So what you want to do is calibrate yourself as best you can to feeling like your inner being feels. And it's helpful to know. At first you might just have to take our word for it, but your inner being feels love all the time. And happiness and exhilaration and eagerness. So if you're feeling something less good feeling than that, you have accomplished some measure of resistance, which is muting your focus and messing with your point of attraction. It's keeping you from the art of allowing into your experience the things that you've been saying that you want. Yeah. Here is the general schematic of the formula. So, something happened, a condition, a circumstance, a life event, and let's say you're aware of it, and you feel negative emotion. So, that negative emotion means that your point of view and the point of view of your inner being are different. It's a good thing to start there knowing that. So now we want to play the game just a little bit of what you all so often do. Even though you've been hearing us in all this conversation for all of these years, still there's this human tendency to want to compare and want to be right and want to be heard and want to explain and want to talk about it and want to examine what is and want to catalog it and pigeonhole it and put all of the dots and pins in it and document it and write books about it and place monuments about it so somebody will know that you lived there and felt like that. Even if it's not something that you want to perpetuate for yourself or for your society, there's something that humans do that make you want to do that. Did you hear that? It's a big part of what we're wanting you to hear. So you feel some negative emotion, and then you do that thing that you do where you try to explain why you have the negative emotion. So we'll just make something up here. Nobody cares about me. Now hear that, because this is the part where you'll really hear this, because this is the point where Esther starts to tell the big lie. Because there's a big misunderstanding. In other words, her inner being knows that that thing she wanted isn't in the cabin. And so she sees it, and her inner being sees it, and we all see it exactly the same way. It isn't here. So there's no separation in Esther's experience. It isn't here. There's no deviation from the perspective of her inner being. Agreed? But when she says, it isn't here because no one cares about me, her inner being knows that that is not the way that it is. Would you agree? Do you know anybody that people love more and take better care of than Esther? We don't know anybody. So when she uses that as an explanation about why this thing isn't here, that's when she really departed from. We're showing you the art. That's where she departed from, and because she's practicing being aware of this, she wants to know when she's departed from inner being, because so there are all kinds of things in this diverse day that you're living in all day, every day, where you could be disappointed or where something could happen. But in that disappointment, if you can stop and acknowledge that it's only this thing that happened, which you and your inner being both acknowledged, but you're going further than just acknowledging it's not there. You're trying to assign motive. Hear us. You're trying to assign motive. And what is the motive that humans so regularly assign? I must have been bad. They told me I was, most of us, most of me's, when I came into my body, they told me I'm a sinner the day I was born. And that I was here to try to affect some sort of worthiness. So it's something that most of you have been trending on quite a long time. that you're looking for the reason that something that you wanted didn't happen, when what the reason is? What's the reason? The reason is I vibrated differently. If you start with the premise that your inner being starts with, that knows that things are always working out for you, then Esther soon came to an awareness. She said, wait a minute. Now that I'm at the point where I felt the lie, as I said, something's gone wrong. So that means if something's gone wrong is not true, then what is true? Things are always working out for me. So maybe there's something that I really care about that is the reason that that didn't make it into my cabin. Did you ever think about that? Maybe her inner being knows what benefits her more. Are you sort of kind of getting what we're talking about here? So we'll just say it to you. We know it's a new thought for you in some ways, and it'll feel awkward for a minute. But once you get the hang of this, so the point that we're wanting to accentuate right here is, at what point does the negative emotion kick into higher gear? That's the point where you really deviated from the absolute truth of what your inner being knows to be. And it's usually when you start saying things like, well, this happened to me now, and then you bring up how often it's happened, and then you point out how it happens to others. But it's at the point that you decide, and therefore our world is going backwards. Not true. And therefore we're losing what we've had. Not true. And therefore you can really feel when you start really doubling down on what is not what your inner being knows to be. And there isn't anything more important in the art of allowing, or in the art of living, or in life itself, or in fulfilling your reason for being here, or in your existence. There isn't anything more important for you to know, to feel, than the in the now moment of your relationship with your inner being, who is pure, positive energy, and who knows who you are. Not who you were, who you are, the furthest vibrational extent of that which you have become. And your emotions tell you every time when you are deviating from that, and the degree to which you have deviated from it. Once you get what we're going to stop in just a second here, but once you get the hang of this, you can have more living happily ever after moments in your day-to-day experience, because you're going to stop doing that thing and defending that thing and extending that thing and cementing your point of attraction in a place that you never wanted to be. Now, right now, you're in a place to hear a really absurd statement of what you do. You see this thing that you don't want, and you stay focused upon it, and then you get more of it. Didn't you hear that more clearly than you've ever heard that before? The very thing that you don't want more of in your life or in the world is what you keep talking about. Why? Because you want to be on the right side of the argument. You want to be right, you want to make the others wrong, and in doing so, you deprive yourself of what you know is right for you. That's the art of allowing, in a really big nutshell. Feeling great about my life, and the law of attraction is showing me evidence of it all day, every day. Your life is wonderful. See here? Your life is wonderful. See here? You deserve good things. See here, see here, see here, see here, see here. And then you find yourself in a group of people where there's so much of that going on that it happens in spades, you say.
So as you discerned, like you said, this subtle thought, not even a subtle thought, but just a thought, something's gone wrong.
Loud enough you felt emotion about it was pretty good size.
Yeah, so something's gone wrong. And if you catch...
Stop right there for just a moment, because you coined such a good expression for this conversation we're having. Something's gone wrong is the biggest lie of all. because the entire universe is conspiring for your well-being.
Right.
And this is the truth. Things are always working out for you. So it's taking a snapshot in time and saying, things have gone wrong, but things are not going wrong. Things are going right. You just got to decide where in the now, that important now that you started out talking
Yeah.
about, where you're going to be.
Yeah.
Which side of the now are you going to be on? Remember, there's no more then. So things have gone wrong. Then doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And present tense, things are going right. This is co-creating at its best. Did you feel it? We just went to a place no one's ever been before.
So when you do, I mean, I think I know the answer to this. Go to sleep. But when
Do anything other than double down.
yeah. So in the discernment of that, like something's gone wrong, and so instead of flicking it off, right now you're like, and this keeps happening to me.
But that's doubling down.
Yeah.
So play
Yeah.
so play just a little bit. So play the game, the formula, as Esther's calling it. Play the game. So this happened. I didn't make it up. It happened. I saw it. There's evidence of it. I saw it. My inner being saw it too. So my inner being saw it. So at what point does my logic tell me that I started departing from my inner being? Because things can happen around the world. Everybody gets to live what they intend to live. It's in the judgment of the wrongness of it that you make the departure. Whether you're assigning blame to yourself or blame to someone else, that's where you deviate from the vibration of your inner being. So offer the analogy that you were offering. Walk through that now and feel it.
So you departed and you didn't catch it really early,
Right.
But now it's gone further and further.
Got bigger.
Yeah. So now
Feels worse.
Maybe this is the thing. So, but now I'm gonna say now, which is a minute later,
And
or
it's where all your
5 minutes
power
later.
is.
Right. Yeah. And here's the thing. And now I am frustrated
Yep.
and really angry.
Yeah.
right?
So, but what does that tell you more than all other things?
So for
what,
sure.
What does that tell you?
I have deviated.
More important than
Right.
the subject that had your attention,
Yeah.
you're now focused upon something way, way, way more important. I've deviated from the knowing of my inner being. And there's a lie in here somewhere
Right.
that I am telling myself, what is it? And that's when it starts making sense to you.
Right. And-
When Esther said to
and-
herself, nobody loves me or it would be here. And then she thought, that might be the stupidest thing I've ever said in my life. It's true, the stuff's not here. You all want to know what it is, don't you? The stuff's not here. But going beyond that
Yeah.
is where she really
Yeah.
departed from what's really going on.
Right. So there, what is the art, or what do you do? Because in that moment of
Say
now-
again, start again.
So at that point,
At what point?
The moment of now when you are frustrated and angry, which you have now departed.
But define it even more. The moment at which I am aware
Aware, yes. it is
of
aware.
my power.
Oh, okay. Well, wait a minute. So there could see that's a big deal right there.
It's the biggest.
The
Well, then
moment at which
let's
I'm
go get it
aware,
then.
Right. So that's the whole assumption, right, about my awareness. Because I may not be aware.
You're aware.
I may still be going.
Oh no, you're aware. But you from this point forward.
Right.
When you feel the escalation of your negative emotion to the point that you are cognitively, consciously able to say, oh, now I'm really speaking something that my inner being does.
Yeah.
And what worked for Esther? Esther, every experience that she had, she was relentless with herself about this, has been for about 3 weeks. As she started to acknowledge that, yeah, I saw that, my inner being saw that. No separation. And others saw that, and I saw that, and my inner being saw that, no separation. But she started to notice every single time that when the true escalation of the negative emotion happened for her, it was at the point that she assigned motive and judgment